Good afternoon. Today I'm here with Miss Karen Wilson Robinson, Vice Chair of Team Jamaica Bickle. How are you doing today?
I am well, thanks. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well. All right, so are we going to go on a little walk then? Okay, where are we headed?
Well, as you can see, this is our whole setup for organization as we host our athletes. So I'm going to take you first through the real crux of it. Um, Part of the reason why we started is because the athletes were coming from Jamaica and they weren't used to the meals that they were getting. So we're feeding them with stuff that they're comfortable with, that they're used to, so that they can just focus on doing well and not have to worry about any reactions they may have to meals that they're not accustomed to. So we're gonna start by going through here,
Let's go.
see the whole operations. Typically, when the schools come in, they're going to register with our staff here. This is part of our Philadelphia team. And what they do is really just try to keep a capture the numbers of folks that we're catering to, because even though we host them at hotels, we have schools that are not necessarily staying with us, but we feed everyone. All of the schools that come from Jamaica and from other Caribbean islands and again, we might not know where they're staying, so we have to capture the numbers. So today, part of what we're doing is making sure we know who comes in, how many are coming in, so we're better prepared as we go over the next 2 days. So this is where it really starts. So when they're coming in here, we'll register so that again we capture who is here, how many are here, and each day at the end of the day we figure out how many people we served, and we can anticipate every day is going to get more, but we can kind of anticipate what we're going to have. So here is our registration desk. We have Carlene, who happens to be our treasurer of the Philadelphia organizing committee. And again, she's going to capture everybody comes in. We give them a ticket, the amount of meals that they're serving, so we can capture the numbers. As we come through here, then we have where the meals are actually served. So you see all the ladies, they're busy getting what's going on. The girls are not competing today, so a lot of what you're seeing here is the coaches and the staff members collecting food so they can take it back for the girls. So the teams that are here actually participating, most oftentimes they'll be here, they'll get their food, they'll sit outside where we go next. But as you can see, it's quite a whole enterprise going on in here with the food distribution, which again is a key function of what we have. Everyone you see are volunteers. It's a wholly non-profit organization, so we are staffed by all these volunteers who's given up their time to be here for the duration of this meet. So it's kind of an assembly line. They have their meals here, then they collect their juices. Right now we're having the lunch fair. Once they clean this out, then we get ready to start for dinner. So we do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Over here is kind of the remnants of our breakfast, where we operated with like little snacks, bagels, etc. But they're all gone right now because it'll be replenished for tomorrow. You can see over here we had some fruits because they're athletes. They have to stay hydrated, they have to stay nourished, so we have the fruits and kind of give them a balanced diet. As you can see, we kind of have our coffee station. It's kind of cold, they're not used to being in this kind of weather, so we keep that going all day long because they're coming out of the cold after running on the track. They'll come in and they want hot coffee or they want the tea or some hot chocolate. So we still have that there going all day. And of course we have juices and stuff that are that we're ready for. So we're going to go out and kind of see what the whole, people are hanging out and what the whole thing looks like. So
Where exactly are we right now? Because I know
so this is the, okay, typically and we've been doing this for 29 years, right? And for the last 28 years, we were always under a tent.
Right.
So this year's the first year we are actually in a building, which is great because now the athletes are outside. They're no longer outside. They're inside. They're out of the elements, and they can focus more on just getting their minds ready, and they're not worried about, am I going to have any cramping or am I going to have any issues related to the weather, because we're not used to it. They're coming out at 90 degrees, 80 degrees, and as you can see, it's like 60 or 50 outside. Right. So there's a little disparity there as it relates to what they're used to. Mm-hmm. So being inside the Palestra, It's a game changer for us.
Called it the Palestra?
The Palestra.
All
The
right.
Palestra is the what we call the Cathedral of Basketball. This is where typically the University of Pennsylvania hosts the college basketball games. They also do NBA games here, etc. And it was in December earmarked as a historical site. So there's a lot going on all different fronts in terms
Yeah.
of being inside for the first time for us, but being allowed to utilize a space such as this that has such great significance for the University of Pennsylvania. So it kind of highlights the value that they, in which they hold us to allow us to use this space.
Right.
So again, it keeps us a little more organized, but we're hoping that this will be our continued home. So we're taking some steps to make sure that our student athletes are prudent in their use of the space because think about how cold it is outside today. Right. So being in this space is really of huge benefit for them as they go through.
All right.
Yeah. All right, so let's go this way so we can continue to see the enterprise at large.
Sounds like a good idea.
All right.
All right, so tell me a little bit more about the history of Team Jamaica Bickle with the Penn Relays.
Okay, so back Jamaica has been participating at Penn Relays we're gonna be 55 years next year. The first team to participate was the Kingston College team, and they would come. Once one Jamaican team did it, a lot of Jamaicans started following, but they would come here. They're coming from a different country. They wouldn't have anywhere to stay. They'd be staying in somebody's basement or, staying in, wherever they could catch, as we call it in Jamaica. Right. And then they were just buying food and they were getting all sorts of reactions to the food, again, because they're not used to it. So in 1994, Erwin Clare and a couple of other gentlemen decided that there's something that we need to do about this, and that's how Team Jamaica Bickle was formed in 1994. And our whole enterprise is about hosting the athletes, getting them discounted hotel accommodations, providing all their meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, providing medical care, which we'll show you a little bit over here, and just providing a space for them to be comfortable. So as you can see, this is the culmination of that. We're here. So it's a comfortable space for them to come, for them to eat, for them to just hang out between their races. So what you see here are lots of the athletes that are just sitting, waiting. They're collecting their food, they're eating, they're hanging out. It's just a safe space for them. And again, we're excited because typically all of this would have been under a tent. Yeah. This is the first year we're inside in the building.
Definitely. Yeah, that's exciting.
Very exciting for us.
All right. And then what about you personally? How long have you been a part of this Penn Relays and all of the Team Jamaica Bickle's involvement?
Okay. I started doing this in 2010. I actually used to live here in Pennsylvania because I went to law school here. And I returned to New York, and one of my friends suggested that I should do something. And I love track and field. So she introduced me to Mr. Clare, and the rest, as they say, is history. I came for the first year, I saw what was going on, and I wanted to be a part of that. I enjoy giving back, I enjoy working with the athletes, and it's great to see them excel. So being here, knowing that you had a hand in helping them. My role with the organization is to just assist with the administrative aspect. I help with the negotiation of the hotel, getting discounted hotel rates. I help with making sure that they come in, when they come in, they have a safe space for them to be. So I really work with them on the accommodations, the transportation, and overall ensuring that they have what they need. And, just looking around and seeing all of this is great because, again, it kind of makes you feel, warm and fuzzy inside to know that you had a hand in helping make sure these kids are comfortable as they stay here.
Definitely, right. So, just looking around, I'm seeing this sign over here that says Labor of Love, and it also has your logo on it. Can you just tell me a bit about that? What's Labor of Love?
Sure. As you can see, this is huge, right? So it takes a lot. So in 2019, we had colleagues of mine, lawyers, who decided to have a fundraiser, in which we call it the Labor of Love fundraiser. What it is a group of people coming together, throwing this really great event to raise funds. It's a strictly fundraising event. We did it in 2019, kind of got a hiatus because of the pandemic, but we returned last year in 2022, and we recently celebrated our third staging of the event on Sunday, last Sunday, April 16th, and it was just really trying to get the resources we need to ensure that we're able to do what we do here. And it's truly a labor of love. Everyone that participated, not all of them are actually volunteers. We have people from across the spectrum. We have attorneys, business owners, etc., who just come together, give up their time to plan the event, execute the event so that we can raise the resources and funds we need to ensure that we're able to do this. So it's truly a labor of love.
Yes, it is. It is a labor of love. This takes a lot, and I really appreciate you doing this. I'm sure all of the Jamaican athletes do as well.
Thank you. I appreciate this. Appreciate doing this. I really love. I went to a Catholic high school where they said, to whom much is given, much is expected, and to me that always resonated. And not that I have a lot per se, but I'm able to give back, and that's truly rewarding.
Definitely. So, just one more question before we walk it off here.
Sure.
What are your plans for Team Jamaica Bickle? You and Mr. Erwin Clare, the chair of Team Jamaica Bickle. What are your plans going forward? Are you planning on expanding to beyond the Penn Relays?
Well, we actually do other things outside of the Penn Relays. Particularly, we have what's called an AET program in which we provide the AET machines to high schools in Jamaica. This was born of a student athlete who collapsed and died on a track in Trinidad and in Tobago, really. Was a St. Jago High School student, and they were the first recipients of an AET machine. We have given over 100 machines to high schools and tertiary institutions in Jamaica. Again, we went on hiatus because of the pandemic, but this year, 2023, we intend to resume that, and we're anticipating doing a distribution of at least 25 machines in November of this year. So we assist other teams that come up. They often reach out to us for resources, and to the extent that we can, we do. From time to time, we'll get requests from athletes, particularly who might find themselves in a particular situation. In terms of expanding, next year we celebrate 30 years. So once Penn is over for this year, we're going to be assuming the road to 30 posture. So we're going to be doing little activities to ensure that we celebrate 30 years. In fact, when we go back in 3 weeks, we're going to have the first event, which will be a fundraising breakfast. Memorial Day weekend in the Bronx, we're having this breakfast to, again, raise funds, to get the messaging out, and to kick off our 30th year.
All right. Well, it was really great talking to you. Can I have a hug?
Thank you.
Can I have a hug?
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much for all you do.
You're welcome. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
That was Miss Karen Wilson Robinson. I'm from Kids Hub. Stay tuned and support Team Jamaica Bickle. Signing off.